What's up, guys? I hope everyone's doing all right out there, staying sane as much as possible. I've been meaning to make this video for some time now, and the weather was cooperating enough today where I thought it would be the opportune time to do it. So, essentially, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be documenting my journey to becoming a natural health practitioner on my channel. I'm going to have a specific playlist that's dedicated to this, and I'm going to post at least weekly, probably more once the ball really gets rolling, but just posting weekly with some things I learned that week, hopefully some tips and techniques that you could apply in your own life to benefit your physical health and your mental well-being. So if that sounds like something that would bring you value, you are more than welcome to subscribe, and hopefully we can learn together along the way. But a little bit about my background. Both of my grandmothers passed away from terminal illnesses. On my dad's side, my grandma died from, or I'm sorry, on my mom's side, my grandma died from leukemia right around the year 2000, when I was in 5th grade. And it had been, we'd known for a while, so it wasn't like really abrupt or anything like that. We got our chance to say our piece and everything. And this kind of similar situation on my dad's side. My grandma had Alzheimer's, and her health really deteriorated for probably like 7 or 8 years before ultimately she died. So ever since then, I've kind of just had a skepticism towards the medical establishment. I take issue with the fact that they treat the symptoms rather than the underlying cause of the disease, which, is a way to ensure that they keep making money. If you cure people, you you're not going to see any return from them. You got to keep them sick to keep making money. So I've always had issues with that, with the medical establishment, and it manifested in my own personal life as well too. Fortunately, not as much as a lot of people out there. There's a lot of times and a lot of individuals that have had real issues with the medical establishment, making errors, but mine have been pretty minor. I had an STD test that for chlamydia that came back positive, and after I left, or I went in to get the results, and after I left, they had called me and told me that they mixed up the test with someone else. So that was a big one for me. And then also, I broke my pinky playing basketball in like 2012 or 2013. And the first two clinics that I went into to get it checked out told me that it was just a sprain and that everything was going to work out and resolve itself. So I continued to work. I was working banquet setup at the time, and I went into work and I was like moving round top tables, using my hand, not thinking anything of it. And the pain only got worse, nothing subsided. So I went into a different doctor who, lo and behold, told me that sure enough, I actually had broken it. So I just haven't really seen efficiency in terms of the medical field in my life. And it kind of led me to take an interest in learning things on my own and just taking things into my own hands. I had a buddy who is a certified yoga instructor, and probably around like 2014 or 2015, I started learning some things from him. And in the book Be Here Now by Ram Dass, I used that specific exercise, I guess, for yoga. And from there, I started to get into meditation and mindfulness practices, and eventually acupressure techniques, acupuncture or acupressure points on the body that you press to open up blockages in chi. And once I started learning more about that kind of stuff, I was able to really work out a lot of like deep-seated tension and blockages that I had dating all the way back to like high school and college that I didn't even know about were there from just a tendency to like tense up in certain anxious situations. I lacked a lot of self-confidence in like high school and college for various reasons. So any situation that made me anxious or nervous, like I would just tense up, especially in my shoulders and back. And it basically, once I started down this path of learning and I was able to alleviate some of these issues that I was causing and like open up all these areas, it gave me the insight there's probably a lot of people out there who are going through a similar situation where they don't even realize that they're doing it. And sorry, I just got a message. So yeah, they don't even realize that they're doing it, because I sure as hell didn't realize it and have any knowledge about it. So I think it's something that could benefit a lot of other people as well. From basically learning acupuncture and Eastern medicine practices, traditional, Eastern medicine practices, I started to get more into like natural herbal remedies and just, starting a diet that's low in toxicity. I think a lot of the stuff that I had in inflammation that I had was caused by just having a toxic diet. And I started to get into like I said, herbal remedies and probiotics, ferments, having to do with gut health. They say the gut is the second brain. You might have heard that before. I wholeheartedly believe that. I lived in Mexico for some time actually, and that's where I really started to develop my ferment expertise. I had a probiotic salsa company that I was profitable, but it didn't really take off as much as I had hoped. But I was only there for like 5 months, so I couldn't stick it out for the long run and give it my all. But in spite of knowing all this, what I know about probiotics and nutrition and stuff, I still have a skin condition. You probably can't tell right now because it's not like flaring up or anything, but I have like, it's either eczema or psoriasis on my face and scalp. And I think what it's from is just internal parasites based on mostly diet, I believe. Even though I don't eat much sugar anymore, I think I have an affinity for carbs, even though I know that they're not good for me. The grains, have all sorts of different oxalates and whatever else in there, even though I mostly eat non-GMO or organic breads and carbs. It doesn't change the fact that I think that it's just creating the parasites, or feeding the yeast is feeding the parasites in my system. So one thing I want to do too is a fasting journal, and I think that's really going to help get rid of my skin condition and hopefully also help me break any other addictions that I have. I think that's all just basically based on habit. Once I get in a habit and it becomes daily, it's really gets tough for me to break it a lot of the times. You could say the same thing for me about nicotine. I have a pretty severe addiction for nicotine, and I think it's just it's habitual. In certain situations it'll be like I'll want to smoke, and then if I don't, or try to not do that, or try to go without it, it's basically like a fixation where I can't think about anything else too. So the fasting, I think, is definitely going to help me break any addictions that I have to food that causes toxicity. But I think just learning more about mindfulness and further about meditation, I think, is going to help me break my addictions to nicotine and any other substances that I have too. So I have a lot of motivation for doing this. I think also, beyond what I just told you, that now is the time to learn a skill that you can use to help other people and also to barter with, because I don't know how long this whole situation that we're in is going to last. The self-quarantine aspect of it may be over in a couple months, but I think the whole martial law element and people just working remotely or being removed from the rest of society, I think is going to be a long-term situation that we're going to be dealing with. So, and also the breakdown of the medical establishment, I think, is only likely to accelerate. So to have a skill that you can use and to barter with and bring people value, just on your own, I think is really something that's going to be beneficial. So that's another reason or motivation that I have to do it. But like I said, I think just the approach that I'm going to take is to upload at least one new video every week, showcasing the things I learned. And then, like I said, I'm going to do the fasting journal diary, starting hopefully within the next couple weeks here. And then when I have the ability to do it, once the quarantine is lifted, I guess you could say, I'm gonna start doing treatments and stuff too. So I'll be uploading all those videos. They probably are gonna be pretty entertaining to start off with, I would think, not knowing anywhere close to what I should be to do it. But there's gonna be a variety of different content too, and just talking also about my past experiences, things I've learned from just trying to live quote unquote outside the system like I have for the last couple years. So if that sounds like something that is going to benefit you and bring you value, feel free to subscribe. All right, I think that's it for now, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.